What's the criteria? I mean, it's not a numbers game.
Right. You know, that for me is not, the areas there, the only criteria there is a part of what's going to be installed for assessment of that is we are gonna have client satisfaction questions. And hopefully we'll get the client to fill them out. If not, your marketing rep's gonna fill them out. And so we're gonna use that data as some measure. Now, there are other measures. I mean, if we lose a client because a designer, he wasn't happy with the designer's design, that's,
But the process that we have in place right now
Yeah, that's kind of.
with the review should prevent that, and it shouldn't be the lower level designers that are held responsible as much as the reviewers.
now, we're talking about basically you guys when I say that.
And
I mean, that's your primary area
Yeah.
of responsibility.
we did put on those critiques too. Our brand, are you meeting brand standards? Although some of those, as we look at install photos, even those can be somewhat subjective. But you know, like, have you reviewed the builder's plans? Is the furniture to scale? I mean, all those things are objectives, not subjective.
Right.
So, you know, we try to get as many objective things on there as possible.
And we will be measuring that stuff. And we'll be counting. So, you know, you'd be surprised if you think about things long enough. There's, in the important areas, there's usually a way, some kind of way to quantify performance. You know, the one thing I would say, Mary, is that because in order to be a good designer, you have to have strong right brain capabilities. And sometimes that makes the type of thing we're talking about today more difficult because people have varying degrees of the left brain. But the purpose of this is to help you with that. To help you by letting this deal with facts that you and the company, Cheryl, have agreed upon are the criteria that we want to push this year. And if you do that, it should be easy if you stick to the facts and you be objective. You know, it would be very difficult for you all to just come up with your own criteria and to have a really good list of objective criteria. So, but, you know, anything that anybody has an idea of, I'm sure Cheryl would welcome your input. If you think that something's missing off the performance review, et cetera. But it needs to be objective again. Provide the employee with your performance appraisal based upon the facts and work towards aligning your assessments. That's important, to try to get the employee through the data so that they understand why you're assessing them in a certain way. You really need that alignment of thought. Come up with agreed upon measurable goals which tie to performance standards expected in their job position. Such goals should stretch performance but definitely be attainable. Conduct your review in the same manner that you would if you were on an interview. And when I say that, it's what we said before: your composure, your posture, your language. Be professional. Not time for laughing or crying. Goals can be set for personal development, like taking a course or reading a book. These types of goals can be especially useful if the employee shows a particular aptitude. So we have had employees in the past where they've shown a certain kind of strength. You know, somebody's great with colors. Maybe you want them to do something. Maybe you want them to take a course and bring that data back to the company. you can set goals like that for personal growth. That's probably not going to be one of the major goals, but those can be thrown in as additional goals. Make sure that some goals include the assessment of interdepartmental managers that routinely interact with your staff. Okay, this one's really important. You are busy, you are a talent pool, but in order for you to be really effective, you have to get your things through our system in an efficient manner. And so whether you're working with the warehouse or working with purchasing or accounting, you need to be responsive and effective. And so we will probably ask for an assessment of the people that work with you. The department heads probably will go to their staff that work directly with you. It's important that you have an acceptable rating in those categories. Otherwise, you're going to have problems on your jobs, and you're going to create havoc in the organization. Now, you know, what do you do if you got somebody who's super talented and is a mess on the other end? It's a dilemma for an employer, because you don't like to give up super talent. It's hard to come by. But that person may be, or those people may be given a little leeway, but not a lot. You're still part of this team. You're still a part of this organization. And we need you to have enough humility to understand that another person can't do their job unless you are cooperative. All right, so let's talk about goal setting. So there's an acronym in goal setting which is pretty well known in management circles, and it's called SMART goal setting, because it uses the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Number one is specific. Goals must be clear, specific, and in writing to avoid misunderstanding. Never frame a goal in negative language. Everything you do with the employee at that time, even if you're giving a poor assessment of somebody, when you're talking about the future, everything should be expressed positively. Don't make that person feel like whatever they do, they're not going to be able to succeed. There'll be plenty of time to judge that person. But if you're not getting ready to fire somebody, there's absolutely no benefit to sending them out with a bad attitude. Do not use words like try. Try means nothing. Achievement is what you're looking for. Okay, so when you're expressing a goal, it's I will do this. Have employees keep their goals at the top of any to-do list or action plan they keep. So, remember, there's only 3 to 5 of them. Once you get them set, get a little placard, make them keep it on their desk. Make them look at it every day. Do something so that you know that this is in the foremost part of their mind on a day-to-day basis. Avoid goals which are too complex in structure. Don't make it too tough to understand, or it just, again, it'll be a place. Goals should be simple. Measuring them may not be that simple, but the goals to the performance from an employee's understanding should be simple and clear. Measurable goals must include, this is the M in SMART, measurable goals must include precise amounts, dates, and so on, so that goals can be measured. Make sure that the data needed, and you're going to get copies of these, so I'm just hand them out so you're all staring at them. Goals, make sure that the data need to measure achievement is readily available. Okay, so when you go into your performance review or during the year, you need to be able to access that data to see how an employee is doing. Some of the data, depending upon what it is, may not make sense until a long enough period of time has transpired, because anything could happen in any given month, the way our installations and plans and all that work. Get approval from your manager for any statistical goals that you seek to establish for direct reports in order to make sure such goals are aligned with department or company goals. So if you're going to give somebody a mathematical goal, make sure that it's in alignment with whatever your company or departmental goals are. Attainable. Do not mistake attainable for easy. Goals are not meant to be set to be easy. They're meant to have achievement above and beyond a present level of achievement, which hopefully will be stretch a person. Relevant goals are, for relevant goals should hone in on what is needed from that person in that job to allow the team as well as the individual to attain its goals. So, you're setting goals tailored to that person and that job.